So our members span from the north part of the country to the coast to the western part of the country. We have also partnered with various stakeholders. As you can see, we have AfriLabs, KCB, Fanisi, and CDIA. They all are in different sectors of innovation, and we are happy that we've partnered with these stakeholders to further enhance the services that we provide to our members. We have also been able to create impact through collaboration and partnerships with our members. We have been able to participate and reach diverse engagement initiatives over 1,000 engagement initiatives. We have also supported over 55 ESOs and been involved in 9 innovation projects. We have also held 5 ecosystem dialogues and initiated 2 policy initiatives all over the country. We have also been able to enroll 600 entrepreneurs in our projects and funded over 200 projects. In these projects, 15 of our members have been able to be profiled through our various member engagement segments that we provide through the membership strategies. So we have been able to channel over 418,000 euros, which equates to over 50 million Kenya shillings. We have also been able to generate revenue for our members, which equates to 78,000 euros. Talking about policies, or rather, talking about our mandate, the first one is policy, which we have been able to help our members, or rather to talk about and also to initiate. We have been able to initiate the startup bill and the innovation ecosystem code of conduct and the agricultural youth policies. On the startup bill, we've been able to recognize that startups are able to receive both fiscal and non-fiscal initiative through the startup bill that we were able to help draft with the help of the National Assembly. So then the startup bill is still in the National Assembly, still being talked about, and we hope that it will go through and help startups and ESOs have a better working ecosystem. We were also involved in drafting the innovation ecosystem code of conduct, and we had 4 participatory forums that were in Kisumu, Eldoret, Nairobi, and Mombasa. Through the Agri-Jobs for Youth projects, we were able to develop and strengthen agricultural policies to increase youth and women involvement in the agricultural sector. We were also able to create projects that were in the western part of the countries, and we have the possibilities to scale these projects all over the country. Talking about empowerment and member engagement, we have been able to generate revenue for our members through the contribution to financial sustainability through innovation projects, such as the ESO digitization projects, the the GIZ Make It project. And we have also been able to engage and increase hub engagement through community barazas, whereby we bring different stakeholders to speak about matters ecosystem. We also have segments that are able to spotlight our members, what they have been able to do and what they intend to do for the entrepreneurs. We have been able to spotlight about 25 members so far, and also been able to create articles and podcasts for them so that they can be able to speak and showcase their impact. We have also been able to position and give visibility to some of our members whom we still continue giving this visibility in our newsletter, which has a reach of over 1,000 people. On internationalization, we have been able to leverage on diaspora remittances through the WIDO Diaspora Remittance Project, which allows diaspora residents to provide grants, or rather facilitate businesses at home, whereby they give 25, they provide 25% of the funding. The entrepreneurs provides 25% of the funding, and WIDO matches 50% of that funding, so that these small businesses and startups can be able to scale and also create more employment. We have had, through WIDO, we have been able to enroll 600 projects and have 367 entrepreneurs incubated in the diaspora remittance project. It is through this that we have been able to have to create, or rather to attract funding of 481,000 euros. That is 51 million Kenya shillings for the startups and the small medium enterprises. We also build capacity for our members through webinars and workshops, and through info sessions such as this, whereby we are able to educate members on different sectors, such as, let's say, digitization, digital skills, as what Impact High is doing, and educate them on other things that will really help them be able to increase their, or rather to better the services that they provide to their entrepreneurs. So we have been able to hold different webinars, such as the Kenya Business Regulatory Toolkit, the Digital Leadership Marketing webinar, the Measure for Impact for hubs, and also the Situational Leadership workshop. Through this, we have seen a lot of our members benefit, whereby they have been able to capacity build for their entrepreneurs as well, through what they have learned from these webinars, or rather these capacity building sections. So we have also been collaborating with various development partners, and also with institutions such as Impact Hub, whereby we have seen different innovation projects happen through partnerships. So, such as the Make It in Africa 2020 project, whereby in partnership with GIZ, we were able to hold workshops that equipped ESOs with skills that were needed to be able to provide better support for the entrepreneurs. The Make It in Africa entrepreneurship projects had different initiatives, one of them being pursuing standardization activities for the Kenyan ecosystem, and designing or facilitating the development for policy that supports entrepreneurial growth in Kenya. We were also able to conduct member engagement activities in Mombasa, in Kisumu, and in Nairobi, whereby we were able to hold regional engagement forums through 2020 and 2021. We were also able to have the ESO digitization projects still under the GIZ, and which is continuing, whereby under this partnership agreement, we were able to have through these projects, we were able to map the Kenyan ESOs needs and gaps so that they can be able to manage sustainable hubs. We were also able to roll out capacity building workshops, which is still ongoing, and master classes to close the identified gaps through the mapping and through the mapping. We were also able to support the digitization process of these hubs to ensure that they can increase their growth and impact for their entrepreneurs. We are also developing a knowledge base for the best practices in the digitization of ESOs outside the ASSEK network, so that we can also be fully inclusive. One of the other projects that we were able to carry out is the AgriJobs for Youth projects, whereby we are able to encourage the youth and women to venture more into agriculture. So some of the objectives of these projects were to drive policy discussion between ESOs and the government on the business environment in the agri-food sector. We were also able to strengthen institutional capacity building while developing the standards and codes of conduct in the agri-food sector and other sectors. We were also overseeing ESO innovation in business hackathons, which will see a lot of youth be able to participate through this hackathon and bring out their ideas so that they can also be funded. One of the other projects that we are able to carry out with success is those are the 4 projects that we have been able to carry out, and we are really going big on the digitization projects, which will see a lot of ESOs benefit rather than the ones who are members. So we'll be able to open the doors of information to other ESOs which are not members, and we hope that they will become members in the future. So with that, I think I'll let Beryl also be able to take us through the next phase of this info session. Thank you. Beryl, over to you.
Right. Thank you so much, Brian, for that. That was very insightful. Thank you. I think let me just turn my video on so that I can have the participants see me for a bit. So welcome everyone for joining us today. We're really happy to have you here, just like Brian said. So Impacta has partnered with ASSEK to bring you a digital skills training session. But this is not the session as it is, right? This is just an info session to take you through what will be covered in the digital skills training and what you stand to benefit as an entrepreneur if you join the training. So I think I'll just share my screen so that you can try and go over briefly what Impacta does and what the training program will cover. So as we move along, please, if you have any question, feel free to raise your hand. I have Joan, like Brian mentioned, Joan from ASSEK and Brian here. They will help with, moderating the session. So if you have anything to say, make sure you raise your hand so that you don't miss anything. All right? Thank you and welcome. Let me turn my video off now. Right. So Brian has talked about what, if my audio is fine, you can also comment so that I can know you can hear me well. Brian has talked about what ASSEK does, and I'm really glad that ASSEK have agreed to come on board this partnership. So what Impacta does, this is Impacta, what Impacta does, we are a nonprofit organization that mostly focuses on impacting women entrepreneurs, so African women entrepreneurs rather, right? And we do this mostly by trainings. We offer trainings and educational materials to female entrepreneurs. It might be either you're in the ideation stage or you're looking at scaling your business. So you're not left out on our target audience, okay? So that's who we are targeting for our programs. And we've partnered with, I have mentioned this before, we've partnered with ASSEK to ensure that we run digital skills training. So we're looking at ways in which, if you have a business, a small business, I've seen one of the participants said she has a fish business. So how can you set up your business online? How can you manipulate or rather leverage the online tools to grow your business online? Because we know as it is, everything is moving online. And if you want to expand your customer base, you have to look beyond your locality, or rather where you're located physically, right? So these are the 3 areas of focus for Impacta. I've told you what Impacta does. These are the 3 areas of focus for Impacta. The first thing, we are led by women, all right? So we are spearheaded by women that have held senior roles at African-focused private equity firms and banks. Most of the employees of Impacta, and Impacta is actually based in Nigeria and our head office is in US, but I'm based in Kenya, right? And then, so most of our employees, if I might say, are women, right? So women targeting women. And then we are deeply rooted in the African entrepreneurship and investment sector. So that tells you why our focus is African female entrepreneurs. So far, within our networks, we have represented investors and have led numerous African private equity transactions, right? So I've talked about what Impact Her does. We engage, train, position. You can see this on the screen. So we engage with African female business owners to determine and address the challenges they encounter in running their business. So through the engagement, we know what problems you're encountering while you're running your business, and then we see where can we come in, where can Impact Her come in to ensure that you achieve, or rather you beat that obstacle, right? So we try and come in through trainings. That's what's indicated on the screen, through trainings. We train African female business owners on how to build scalable, best-in-class businesses. We have a variety of trainings, but in this case, we are going to look at the digital skills training. And then through these two things, what is the result? So the result is we help African female entrepreneurs to position themselves in the market. How can they be thought leaders? How can they be market leaders in the specific industry that they are in, right? So that's basically what Impact Her focuses on, right? This is an image of one of our women. So we had a pitch contest in Cameroon. So we had one of the winners win. They had got a grant of around 500,000. So we trained them on how can they better pitch their businesses, what are the different funding options available for businesses. And then we had a competition for that. So the winner won around 500,000, should be Naira, right? So moving forward, this is just what I've mentioned. ASSEK has come, ASSEK and Impact Her have come together to offer you a digital skills training, and our target is African female entrepreneurs. So why do we do it? Why are we focusing on digital skills, right? There are many other trainings that we might need. And I think that can come later, but at the moment, why are we fronting the digital skills training? So I did mention there's a shift that is happening, especially with businesses. So most businesses have decided to go digital. And I think the COVID pandemic also was one of the things that propelled the rate of this to increase, right? So if you look at facts and figures, you can see that 41%, there's a 41% internet penetration rate for adult women. Sorry, let me go back. There's a 41% internet penetration rate for adult women, right? So why is our focus women? So these are the facts that we are looking at. Why are we focusing on women, and why are we focusing on the digital skills? 50% of world's women are offline, 50%. So you can imagine the population of the world's women and then calculate 50% of that. Only 50% are offline. So we obviously need to find ways in which we can get them online, find ways in which they can see the benefits that they can accrue from being online. 30% of women in sub-Saharan Africa have received STEM training and participate in the tech sector. We really can't have 30% women alone with skills in, science, tech, engineering, and mathematics. So if there are avenues that we can explore to increase this percentage, that's where we come in as well. In sub-Saharan Africa, women less likely to own a mobile phone, and 30% women in sub-Saharan Africa are less likely to own a mobile phone, and the gender digital gap in mobile internet usage is 34%. So we have men around 100 minus 34 should be 100 minus 34 should be 60, 60, 64, 66, right? So you have 66 men who have access to mobile internet usage, right? And then only 34% women. So that's also something that we have to try and look at. So these are just figures that try to factualize why we're doing what we're doing and why our focus is on African female entrepreneurs. Now, what are the benefits that you stand to gain by, accessing the digital skills training that we have? What will you gain at the end of it all? The first thing, your business, the business that you have, the business that you own at the moment, your business, you're able to develop innovative products and services, because you get to learn with the online space, you get to learn a lot about industry trends, you get to learn a lot about audience insights, you get to learn a lot about your market. So you're able to know if there's a shift in customer preferences, you're able to know that, and how do you acclimatize your business to that? So you develop innovative products and services to be able to fit in to the current market demand, right? And then you're also able to optimize your processes to reduce cost and efficiency. I think for most of us, you can see that we're mostly in the SME sector, right? So you don't want to spend a lot of money trying to, scale your business, because if you're looking at spending a lot of money, it's either you get a loan if it's not grants, but you don't want to overspend, right? So you have to look at ways in which you can optimize processes, so you reduce your costs, but you increase your efficiency. So these are some of the things that you get to learn by being in the digital skills training. The other thing, you're able to develop and execute your growth and sustainability strategy. If you have an idea in mind, like I want to grow my business by the end of, if it's 2022 or 2023, but do you have a strategy in place? Do you know what components you can have into your strategy to be able to propel your business to achieve that goal or objective? The other thing you stand to benefit is you increase profitability through increased market share. By positioning yourself well into the market, understanding your market, understanding your audience, understanding your strategy, you're able to position yourself into your market, and increasing your market share gives a ripple effect of you increasing your profitability at the end of the day. The last benefit, I think there's so many benefits to this. So the 5 that I'm just mentioning are just a summary of that. The last thing, you get to develop targeting, advertising, and building a community. That's building an online community, building a community of people who understand your business, building a community of people who understand your products or service, and this increases conversion for you at the end of the day, right? So I think I'll be taking questions before I move on to what the digital skills training entails. If you have any question, you can feel free to raise your hand. Feel free to raise your hand or drop a comment in the chat section. I should be able to see that. Yeah, I can see a comment. Yes, thanks, John. So feel free to drop a comment, raise your hand. You can always help to unmute, because this is a discussion. I'd like to hear from you as much as you're here to hear from me. Do you have any question? If there are no questions, you can also indicate no questions, so I can move on to what the curriculum of the digital skills training is. If no questions, also indicate no questions. Right. Thank you, Tatiana. Thank you. It's just Tatiana with some feedback. Do you have anyone else? No question, Emma. Thank you. Right. So I'll move on to the curriculum of the digital skills training. So what will be covered? What are the topics that will be covered? What do you stand to benefit from each topic, right? That's what we're going to cover. This is the journey. This is the digital skills journey. The first thing we're going to look at is how to build your brand and sell online. How can you position yourself on the online space? How can you establish your brand, brand awareness, brand reputation, and maintain that and still be able to make conversions for yourself? The other thing we're going to look at is creating a digital marketing plan. So you're going to learn, fine, I've taken my business online. I'm on Facebook, I have a website, or if I don't have a website, I have the Google business profile. But what can I do to ensure that I'm leveraging on these platforms as I should, or maximally, to ensure that, you know, my business, my online business is growing. So you get to learn about how to create a digital marketing plan. And then fine, I'm on Facebook and you know, I'm on Facebook, I have a website, I'm on Instagram, but what are the different marketing tools offered by each platform that will ensure that I grow my online business? The other thing is getting set up on Google My Business. And I think the benefit of this is Impactor has partnered with Google. We're one of the verification partners for Google. So we'll help you with setting up your business on the Google business profile, and then also help you with the verification of your profile. So if someone goes online, they're always able to find you, whether you have a website or not. But the benefit of getting set up on the Google My Business profile, you get a chance to have a free website. So when you're creating the Google business profile, you get a free website with it. All you have to do is purchase a domain name, which is usually around $4. That should be around 400 Kenya shillings, just to purchase a domain name. But now, after you have a domain name, you get a free website. You actually create your own website. You don't need a website developer to help you with that. So we are going to also look at that, how to get set up and how to optimize your profile on Google Business Profile. And then using data and insights to help grow your business. So you get to learn how to gather data from the different platforms that you're going to look at, and how can you analyze and present this data to make better decisions for your business in terms of you know, the marketing strategy. The other thing now is creating a digital marketing strategy. I know most of us here have seen, you know, when you go to like Facebook, you see people who are sponsoring posts, you see people running ads on their profile. So how do they decide that, you know what, this channel of marketing will work for me or will not work for me? So what are the different channels that you can look at? What are the components of each channel, and how can you get started with that? The seventh topic, because it's usually 8 topics under the digital skills training. The seventh topic we're going to look at is implementing Google Workspace across your business, right? I don't know if you're savvy with G Suite. Google Workspace is previously G Suite. They recently just changed their names, but it's mostly the same. And I think from G Suite, most people just use Gmail, but there are several tools that you can actually use on the Google Workspace, and they're free. You don't have to pay for them. So there are several tools that you can use on Google Workspace to collaborate and communicate with your team members, right? And then how to stay productive online. If I have workers who are working remotely, or if I decide, you know what, I'm going to work from home, so how can I stay productive online? So this is the digital skills journey, and these are the topics that are going to be covered. I've talked about building your brand and selling online. So by building your brand and selling online, right, this is the first topic. What do you stand to gain? First, you learn how can you create an online brand? How and why? You have to ask yourself why first before, you know, making the decision of taking your business online. Why am I taking my business online, right? So you get to learn how to create an online brand. You also learn how to develop your e-commerce offering. If you want to start an e-commerce, if you want people to be purchasing your products, maybe from your website, you probably need an e-commerce website. But how do you get started with that? Do you understand? I know probably these are things that we ask ourselves and we plan on doing them, but we don't really have the details or the know-how on how to, get started. So this is what you're going to look at, and obviously how to utilize social media to drive sales. This being the first topic. I'm trying to see if I'm missing any, I'm trying to see if I'm missing any comments in the chat section. None, right? So I think we're on the same page. So this is the first step of the digital skills journey that we're going to look at. The next thing that you're going to look at, I've talked about creating a digital marketing plan, right? So in this session, we understand that digital marketing provides businesses with a cost-effective and engaging way of communicating with audiences online, whether you have a website, whether you are just using social media. So what are the other platforms that you can set your business up on the digital space, right? So we look at creating a digital marketing plan. We'll give you an introduction to digital marketing, of course. How do you build your digital marketing plan and harnessing the power of digital advertising? Remember that most people who, if you have a small business, you probably don't have the resources to get a digital marketer to help you with running ads online, running campaigns online. You probably also don't have the resources to get a social media manager to manage your platforms, or to get a graphic designer to help you with coming up with posters, right? So in this session, this is what you're going to look at. How can you run your own ads online? How can you better manage your social media pages? How can you create your own content? So even coming up with a content calendar, scheduling your posts, looking at the different tools that Google has that you can, come up with your own posters. Remember, even if you don't have a logo, there are very many tools that you can leverage on to create your own logo. You don't need a graphic designer for that. And it's basic. You don't need extra designing skills or extra design skills to curate your own logo. That's what you're going to look at in this session. The other thing is using marketing tools and social media to grow your business. How do you get set up and how do you optimize your Google business profile? I don't know if some of us know what the Google business profile is. So when you go online, if you make a search, maybe for a business name, assuming I have a business and it's probably called Beryl's Organic Shop. If I go online and search Beryl's Organic Shop, there are listings that will come. There are results that will come on the search engine results page. But on the right, there's usually like a summary of what that business does. Could be the Google Maps, you get directions to where the business is, and then there's the contact details, the website if they have any. So the listing appears on the right side of the search engine results page. That's what we call the Google My Business. How do you get set up? How do you go about having your business appear as a listing on the Google business profile? So we will help you with that. I've mentioned that Impacta is a verification partner with Google. So we'll also help you with the verification, because if your listing is not verified, you will not be able to manage it on your own. And by managing, I mean, you won't be able to make posts on your business profile. You won't be able to make any edits. Maybe if you've moved location and you want to change it on the listing, you won't be able to do that. So your listing has to be verified, and we will help you with that, all right? And then getting set up on Google Maps. So the Google business profile, you can actually manage your listing at the comfort of your home through your phone. You just go to Play Store and download Google Maps. Previously, it was an app. You could download the Google business profile, but they integrated it with the Google Maps. So you can just go to your Play Store. When you download Google Maps, you're able to manage your listing from there, right? So how do you get started with that? How do you get set up? And then how to ensure that your listing is engaging, because you have to make posts on it. What kind of posts do you make from it? What kind of insights can you learn from it to optimize it, right? And I think that takes us to data and insights. So from either our websites, you know, if you have a website, it's not just, that's not the end of it. There are tools that you would need to integrate with your website to ensure that you optimally use your website. First, there's the Google Search Console tool. There's the Google Search Console tool that you can actually integrate with your website to understand how your website is performing in terms of, I have so many people coming to my website. What are the search terms that are bringing them to my website? When they come to my website, what are they doing on my website? Are they taking the action that I want them to take? The action could be, I want them to call me. I want them to fill my inquiry form. I want them to, you know, if it's buying my business online, I want them to do that. So what am I learning from the data and insights that can help me better make my decisions, marketing decisions rather, right? So that's what is going to be covered under data and insights. And then creating your digital marketing strategy. So this is where we're going to look at the different channels. Remember that digital marketing strategy, I'll just give you a snippet of what's under the digital marketing strategy. There are 6 channels. There's search engine marketing, there's social media marketing, search engine optimization, display advertising, email marketing, and content marketing. So those are 6 channels under digital when you're creating a digital marketing strategy. But as a business, especially as a startup, you don't want to go all out on all those 6 channels. You have to sit down and make smart decisions on what channel would work for you. If you have a website, you can decide, I have a website, but I don't have the money to run paid ads on my website, right? But for my website to appear higher in the rank, for my ranking to appear higher in the search engine, I can decide to run search engine optimization, which is actually free. But how do you get started with search engine optimization? Do you understand? Those are the things that you're going to cover in this session, creating your digital marketing strategy, right? I also talked about implementing your Google Workspace, across your business. So these are the different icons. You can see there's Gmail, there's Calendar, there's Drive, there's Meet, Google Forms, Google Sheets, Google Slides, Google, what is it? Google Forms, all these things, Workspace. How can you use these tools? Once you get set up on Workspace, how can you use these tools to increase communication and collaboration within your team? What guidelines do you have for your business to communicate with your team members? What communication guidelines do you have in place? Because it's very important to know, which tools would be, which guidelines you have for the use of each tool. So you can decide, you can tell your members, for instant communication, we are only going to be using, Google Chat, right? So you can have that as a guideline, as a communication guideline for your members. So how do you come up with all these guidelines? How do you leverage on all these tools to ensure that you're increasing and improving on communication and collaboration? The last thing I talked about is staying productive online. So this is the last topic of the digital skills training program, staying productive online. Like I mentioned, COVID made everyone learn, from the corporates to SMEs. They made everyone learn that you can actually even be productive from the comfort of your home. If you don't have a physical office, you're running your online business from home. How can you be productive about it? If you have employees, if you're a business owner and you have employees, like 5 employees, 6 employees, and they're not in one location, how can you ensure their productivity from wherever it is that they're working from, right? So all these are the things that are going to be covered in the digital skills training. I hope I've been clear on that and not too boring, right? So do you have any comments, per se? Comments? question. If you have a question, just feel free to raise your hand. Question, comments? I don't think two participants raised their hand. Right, let me see, who is that? Grace, allowed to talk. So Grace, yes? I think I've unmuted you, Grace. Grace, you can talk. Grace, you can unmute yourself.
I'm saying, hello.
Yes. Hi.
Hi. I'm asking, you mentioned earlier that this training is going to enable us to be able to create our own websites without necessarily having to engage a graphic designer. Is it going to be affordable? Because usually when we are looking to form websites for our business, whatever deters us, considering that we are startups or we are new, we've not been in the field for so long, is usually the costs that are associated with putting in tools that would enable us to do business effectively.
All right.
Yeah.
So like I mentioned.
Yes. Yeah. I'm just asking is it going to be more affordable compared to hiring someone?
Right. So I get your question. I did mention that you're able to create your own website. I think most of us probably just know that if you need a website, you have to engage a graphic designer. But when I talked about the Google business profile, when you're creating the Google business profile, you get a free website alongside your listing. So what you only have to do is to purchase the domain name. The domain name being, I gave an example of if I'm an organic shop, I'm Beryl's Organic Shop. So by my domain name would be maybe www.berylsorganics.com. So you have to purchase that, and that's usually like around $4. That's if you convert it to Kenya shillings, you'd only have to part with around 400 bob for the domain name. But now when you're coming up with your listing, you get prompts on, you get free templates. So you have templates on how you can create your website. You only have to come up with your own content. That's it. So the cost the cost implication is only around 400 bob.
Okay. Another question. Like, you see, when you're looking to go for training, say after high school, you always look at where your strengths are, and that's why some people study IT and some people have a beauty course. Is this training simplified in such a way that anybody who is in any field is able to catch, such that I can also show some of my employees how to go about it after I attend this training, so that they're able to run the digital business even when I'm not able to?
Yeah. Thank you for that. That's a really good question. And I think that's one of the takeaways that we would want our participants to have. So this training is so simplified. If we go, or when we go through it step by step, you should be able to understand every detail. We are not deep diving into, the complexities of it all. So you're able to learn the basics of it, which should be enough to help you how to manage your business online. And whatever knowledge or skills that you're going to get, you should be able to transfer the same to, any other person you want, either it's a friend or an employee. So it's very simplified. It's not complex.
And is there going to be, okay, I don't know how much the training is going to cost, I'm sure you're planning to talk about it later on, but I'm just asking, like, is there an after sale service such that if I go through this training and I'll need to get clarification on stuff, I can call Impact Her and they'll be able to sort me out? Or once I'm done with the training, it's a done deal and I have to deal with the bits that I didn't get so clearly?
Yeah. So in terms of the cost, I know probably that like an elephant in the room for everyone here. I just like to make it clear that the training is free. You're not paying for anything. You're not paying to attend the training. Elizabeth, I saw your hand and I'm just going to pick you after finishing up with Grace. So you're not paying to attend the training, right, Grace? We're offering at no cost. It's very much free. I think the logistics of it all, ASSEK and Impactor are working to see that we cover all costs so that you don't have to spend anything when you're attending the training. And then we also have post-training support. So you should be able to reach out to either ASSEK or to Impactor anytime after the training, and we can help you wherever you're stuck, right? So it's not like after the training, it's a done deal, we've gone out and that's it. We offer post-training support. So anytime you can get contacts from either ASSEK or Impactor, you can get our contacts and we should be able to help you with anything that you may need after.
And the training, since it's a digital training, is it going to be online or we are going to need to attend in person?
As it is, we're looking at a physical session, but that's something we're also working on with ASSEK. Once everything is finalized, I think when you were signing up, you left your details. So once everything is finalized, we'll always reach out to you and tell you, you know what, these are the dates and times for the training. Please avail yourself.
Okay, then.
Right. Thank you. Anything else I haven't answered to your satisfaction?
If anything comes up, I'll ask again, if you allow me.
That's okay, Grace. All right.
Thanks.
Right, you can just unmute yourself. I had Elizabeth. Elizabeth? Elizabeth, you had your hand up at some point.
Oh, no, it must have been by mistake. I have asked my question on the chat. Thank you.
All right, that's fine. If you have a question, I'll just remind you, please feel free to raise your hand. Feel free to raise your hand. We're happy to take any questions, right?
There is a question on the chat box from Elizabeth, actually. It says, is the purchase of the domain name one-time or renewable? And if it's renewable, after how long?
I think the purchase of the domain name is an annual fee. It should be an annual fee of $4. No, but actually it's not annual, it's one time. So once they purchase the domain name and then they create their listing from the Google business profile, that's it. You're not paying for it again.
Great. We also have a question from Wanjiro Mburu. Are you able to just unmute her? Yes.
Yes. Let me just unmute her. She should be able to unmute herself now. No, wait. Wanjiro. Yeah.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Hi, Wanjiro. Afternoon to you.
Okay, yeah, clearly. My name is Wanjiro. I'm a social entrepreneur from Isiolo County.
Wow.
My question was, like in regard to your presentation, like the example that you shared from West Africa, is there going to be sort of a pitching or a funding grant opportunity after this info session and also the digital skills sessions? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wanjiro. But I hate to break your heart, unfortunately.
Oh no.
Yes, I hate to break your heart. So we won't be having that for this training. I think maybe I can't promise anything at the moment, but what's on the table right now is the digital skills training. So that's just the focus right now.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Anjiru. Have I missed any other question, Joan?
No, there's a question from Grace. Yeah.
Yes.
Let me just try and look at my chat. There's a question from Grace.
Or she's raised her hand, so she's just able to unmute herself.
Yes, Grace, you can unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, yeah, I'm just asking another quick question about digitizing our business.
Yes.
Is it possible to link our banks with the website and also be able to do things like paying taxes from the website? Like, are we able to digitize it and link it in such a way that we are going to be able to operate things from one platform?
Okay. So I think
Like something like point of sale, something like that. Point of sale and able to handle things just online so that I'm able to watch it wherever I am, even when I'm not physically at my business location.
Okay. So I think, just to be clear, you, for filing your tax or managing your tax, filing your tax, you're not able to do that from the back end of your website. And linking your bank. So there are these things that are called plugins. So these are additional softwares that you can input onto your website to give them additional features. So if you have different payment options, if it's the till number, or I think there are things like Pochi la Biashara at the moment. If you have different payment options that you would want to plug into your website, we look at the different sites that you can download these plugins. There's WooCommerce, there is the different platforms. I think I can, at the top of my head right now is WooCommerce. So we look at the different platforms that you can download these plugins to include into your website. I'm not sure about linking your bank with the website, right? Because also for security features, of course, but if you have payment options, maybe a pay bill, a till number that you want to plug into your website, we look at how you can also do that and where you can download them.
Okay, thank you.
Right, you're welcome. Wanjiru, your hand is still up. I don't know if it means that you have another question or follow-up question. Wanjiru? So I think that was mostly it. I took some bit of questions. I think I've answered all of the questions. I haven't missed any. I can't see any that I've missed. So basically that's it. For when the session is going to be, this will be communicated by ASSEK. We'll sit down with them, see when we can have the physical session. What I know about the session is it's just going to be a 2-day session. So when is the question at hand, and this will be communicated to you. Today, we were just going to go over what you stand to benefit by attending the training. So just sensitizing you on the digital skills training. I hope we are all on the same page, and I hope this has given us some bit of confidence in attending the training sessions once we communicate the date to you. So you can tell us in the chat section if this session was helpful or insightful, and if it helped you in, if you want to make the decision to attend the session, what was shared today, was it enough to convince you? to attend our sessions. Let me see your comments in the chat section. Thank you, so helpful. Thank you, Grace. It's only Grace. We're also quiet. I think I've heard from Grace, Wanjiru. Everyone else is quiet. Silence means consent, or? Let me see, I can see someone else. Thank you so much. Thank you, Irene. Thank you that you've been following, quite educative, right? So I think that's it from my end. John, Brian, do you have anything else to say? Do you have anything you want to communicate?
Nothing from our end, just on ASSEK, we just want to thank you for creating the time. We know we've spent 10 minutes past the due time, but you will receive a post-event package that has the recording and the information that may have not been shared during the session. And we'll definitely communicate when the training will be and what it would be the implications of you attending the training. Yeah, that's it from our end.
All right, thank you, ladies. You enjoy your afternoon, enjoy your day. Bye, cheers.
Bye.
All right.
Bye, Beryl.